Hey everyone, today I'm creating 26 handmade cards using the Call Me Crafty SheetLoad of Card template from June 2026. I am part of the creative team, so you'll find links below to where you can see a playlist of all of the other creative team members' cards. We all create totally different things, so it's a great way to see the sketch used in many different ways. I'm also pairing this up with this Spellbinders die set and with a paper pad that is 8 by 6 inches from a local craft store called Spotlight here in Australia. This Spellbinder set is absolutely perfect creating the arch. I do not have a lot of different shaped nesting dies. I normally use circles and that's about it. So this one was absolutely perfect. The pattern paper pad has a whole bunch of neutrals in it, and I thought it might be fun to add an extra layer of cardstock to introduce a new colour to the card sketch. So I have altered it slightly by making the elements that go on the top layers of the card slightly smaller. And then I'm using the backing panels that you can see on the left-hand side in an array of colours. So what I'm hoping is that I can use those to be a contrast to the pinks and neutrals and the burgundies that I have here in the paper pad. I am running through and I'm picking any patterns that I think I can use sideways and get 2 card panels out of it. Not all of them would work. It has things like hearts or flowers that are pointing a particular direction. So the ones in my right-hand pile I can cut into 2 pieces, and the ones on the left I'm going to have to cut those portrait, and I'm only going to get 1 piece out of each. It doesn't matter because what I'm going to do with all those leftovers that are spread all over my desk is I'm going to use them to do some die cutting so that I tie the pattern papers together on the card. So 1 pattern paper for the backing area, and then I used a different pattern paper for part of the arch element. Now, I'm not very good at tearing pattern paper for these types of sketches, so I'm using a ruler here and I'm just lining it up, getting it sort of relatively straight, and then I'm just tearing at a particular point. I didn't measure it, I'm not making it perfect. It looks like I'm fiddling here on my grid, but what I'm doing is just making sure it's straight. I'm not actually measuring to see what size the pattern paper strips are. I'm just finding a rough area and tearing it down. I also decided not to switch the papers and have 2 pattern papers on the backing area. You'll see what I mean shortly. So I've paired them up here so I know which pieces I tore with which. And so it means I won't end up with big and small pieces that are mismatched as part of the card design. Now I'm using my Spellbinders Scout here, and I'm just running through and doing the archway that is going to be the backing layer. And then I'm chopping a little white rectangle out of the middle. And I'm able to do that because I know the piece of pattern paper is going to actually cover up that gap. And it just made it easier to die cut. I have plenty of white cardstock, so it wasn't really about saving cardstock. It was just easier to do the die cutting on the small die cutting machine. So I ran through and did all of these, and then I ran through and I grabbed all of those spare bits of paper on the right-hand side of my desk, and I ran through and did the pattern paper pieces as well. I did not really count what I was doing, I just guessed as I was going, and it turns out that I had 28 of the backing panels of the ripped paper, and then I created 26 of the white layers, and then I had 28 of the pattern paper on top. So I was a couple of pieces short, so I just made 26 cards, and then I put my leftover bits and pieces into my stash of spares, and I'm sure that they will be perfect on another project down the track. So here I was able to get 3 of these little panels out of these leftover strips of pattern paper with very little waste, so that was really nice. I just threw that straight into my recycling. I'm really interested to know which colour combination is your favourite of these. Because I'm using the burgundy and the neutrals and the pink with the mint greens and then with some navy, it does create a couple of different combinations, and you'll see that shortly. I'm using my MISTI here to stamp a little happy birthday onto the little rectangles. This is from a My Favourite Things set that is called Tiny Messages and More. So My Favourite Things is not available anymore. They unfortunately closed down. They were one of my favourite places to get stamps and dies. But you can still find bits and pieces at different craft stores online if they have old stock or retired items. This stamp set is absolutely brilliant. I love it. It has all of I guess the highlights from the My Favorite Things different sentiments in mini form, which means they're perfect for these style of sentiments on card elements. Here I'm running through with my glue and I'm just adding it onto these little panels. And unfortunately, I did stop recording when I did two things. One is I grabbed those arches with the square cut out and I put those on top of my backing panels, and then I glued the white elements on top. I'll explain when I get there perhaps. So right now I'm going through, I'm doing my color matching and I've got my different pattern papers and I'm trying to figure out which ones will match nicely. And I move them around and juggle them a bit. And for the most part, I put things in pairs. So when I had 4 pieces of pattern paper of the same design, I split them in 2 and I had 2 different backing panels that I paired them up with. And I did not have too much trouble working through this. I think the hardest one was the red, and I was able to pick a couple of the pinks that had another design through them, which really I think looked quite good in the end. So at this point, you can probably start to see the color designs and layouts and maybe decide which one you think is your favorite. These cards were quite quick to make. I am a bulk card maker, so I do lots at a time. And I found that it was really simple once I'd done the die cutting to just do all the gluing together, and I was able to do that while I was watching a movie at the same time. Now, when I'm adding all of the pattern papers, I always do that from the bottom, and I apologize that it's off the bottom of the camera there, but I'm literally just laying it down, lining it up from the end, and then whatever gap I have for the torn pieces of paper is just fine. Now, most of these are pretty consistent because of the size I cut down the original panel, and I just tore them in half and left that gap in the middle. It's a cool card design. I really liked creating with this one. I run through and do these, and as I said, I apologize, I do have some missing footage, and this is once all of these panels are done, I glued on the white element and then I matched up the pattern paper in the middle. Similar to when I was attaching the torn paper, I always go from the folded side of the card base first, and that just means if I do make a mistake or the card is a little bit longer or the panel's a bit mismatched, it's easier to trim it down if you know that it's nice and square where the fold is, because obviously you can't trim that part without ruining the card design. I have put a few links to some videos that I think you might enjoy. Have a great day.